Hey guys, it's Inferno from Dragon Empire. Dragonic Empire. That's the one. Dragonic Empire. Here with an updated Royal Paladin deck. And there's Kaiser to the right of me. He's over there.
I'm also on mute.
Well, you're not on mute anymore. So, yep, it's an update to my Majesty Lord deck. So, been playing around the deck recently, and just been trying to update it.
I mean, you can argue it's almost kind of a different deck with one of the grade 3s in here anyway.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to update it to the speed of the current meta, and because having like a bunch of 10k grade 3s can really not be great at the best of times.
No, it's more so a 12 when you get the setup, which isn't
It's 12
too
when you get the
difficult.
setup, yeah.
It's not too difficult to get the setup for this.
In terms of Majesty Lord, we play 3 copies of that.
3 copies, sounds good. It's searchable after all.
Searchable by Winglebrave, after all, but obviously it's people guard Winglebrave, so relying on Winglebrave to search his house is really not ideal.
No, but...
And plus on the rearguard he'll only be 10k, so you don't really want too many copies of it. Just on the Vanguard to be 12.
This is a mid-game sort of card anyway, early to mid-game, depending on your definition of early game anyway.
Yeah, so 3 seems about the right number, 4 seems too many, 2 seems too little, and 1 is just crazy.
No, getting these up at the right time is definitely quite devastating, because it has the extra crit there, being 12k base as well next turn.
Yep, and
an extra 10k on the initial attack, which is nice.
Which is nice, but the unique, well, the new grade 3 that I'm playing in this...
Which is making this deck different.
Well, yeah, it's triple Sanctuary Guard. For those of you who do not know his skill, it's when he's placed on the Vanguard circle, discard 1 Royal Paladin from your hand.
So if you've got MLB and you don't want to ride it, good card to discard.
Search your deck for up to 1 grade 1 Royal Paladin and place it on the rearguard circle.
So
and
yeah, it's kind of a con row.
It gives you a nice little setup, where it replaces one of your cards in your hand with a card you'd rather have, like a booster.
Yeah.
Which is like an upgraded version of Garmor, except Garmor worked on the rearguard circle, whereas this is only Vanguard. But he's 11k base, which more than makes up for that. And his limit break skill, for each one of your grade 1 or lower Royal Paladin rearguards, he gains plus 3,000.
Which includes Winglebrave as well.
Which includes Winglebrave, yeah. I said it's grade 1 or less. So if you've got a full back row of grade 1 or less, it's plus 9 instantly. So he's instantly hitting 20, and with a boost, he'll easily hit 25 and above at limit break. So very solid card to sort of like beat down your opponent and really matches the theme of Paladins in general.
Yeah, it helps get consistency with your field as well, obviously,
yeah.
Being able to take any grade 1.
And being able to like thin out your deck and just leave triggers behind and just kill them with triggers.
Probably not the sort of thing you want to rely on, of course.
No, but he's a very good... Would you say limit break's more mid-game now? 4 damage is more mid-game, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say 4 damage is mid-game, because when break rads start going off.
It's good for mid-game to ride and just constantly beat down your opponent with more than at least 20k.
I'd say the most significant thing about the card is the grade 1 searching, which makes it pretty damn handy.
Which makes it very handy to set up the field. Because it's not... Other cards in the deck don't really search for grade 1s. So.
No, and it has a lot of synergy with this next card too, actually.
Yep. Soul Saber Dragon.
1 copy, great for late game.
1 copy, great for late game. He's mainly in here because you play a few copies of Pongal, so they count as extra grade 3s. So they're sort of like your backup Vanguard. So if you don't have a grade 3 in hand, Pongal effectively becomes one with the Counterblast.
Would you say is it worth riding Sanctuary Guard Dragon compared to the power output between the two? Because you're only getting like an extra 5k to your rear guards effectively.
Yeah, I mean this is
this
is definitely for the 1 game final turn push. But if you have to ride it first, it's not really the end of the world, because when he attacks a Vanguard, he's attacking for 13 automatically,
which gives you an 8 there. It's 21.
Which gives you easy access to a 21k Vanguard column, which is very, very handy.
Because I would expect the 8k is the ideal thing to be behind the Vanguard at all times.
But as a backup Vanguard, he's definitely very good in that sense. He gives you a good. So he's good whenever you get him in the game, really. So if you have to ride him first, it's not the end of the world at all.
10k base is a bit unfortunate, but yeah, I don't normally consider using it early game for that sort of purpose, but not bad for that.
It's only if you're forced into it. And of course, because it's a Majesty Blaster deck, Majesty Lord Blaster.
You can kind of guess the grade 2s a little.
4 Blaster Blade.
Not a bad call, I guess. You haven't got a lot of Counterblast cost with your grade 3s.
Yeah, there's no Counterblast cost in grade 3s anymore, because I'm no longer playing Alfred, so there's no Counterblast for grade 3s. Like Soul Saber, just ride. Sanctuary Guard, just ride and then swing away. And Majesty Lord just
it does what MLB does.
Yep. So yeah, there's no Counterblast costs in the grade 3 lineup, so you can use the Counterblasts
fairly freely, and
Yeah.
like the free retire from this thing's not bad.
Yeah, because as soon as you play him, Counterblast 2 and get a +1. Because
And if you think about it, he kind of makes up for his neg of going in the Sulphur MLB as well, because you're getting rid of one of their cards too.
yeah, so Full Blade, definitely a great rearguard and good Vanguard to ride if you got 2 up and Counterblast. You can get rid of annoying starters, but so can this guy if you decide to ride him, or if you have to ride him. It's just 3 Blaster Dart because again he's Shadow Paladin, so.
Not great synergy, but
yeah.
with MLB, of course, it's kind of necessary.
I mean, it's necessary to have multiple copies, not just one like Aichi seemed to have, but as soon as he's in Soul, that's it. He becomes a 9k vanilla after that. There's nothing else you can do with it.
No, either an early game ride, obviously assuming you've got a booster or something else on the field, because otherwise you can't use triggers, or obviously for MLB fodder, and maybe you could even push the
It's
effect
MLB
twice.
fodder, and after that, it's literally just 9k vanilla after that.
Which isn't the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but you can't use him for no-god fodder and stuff, so you got to be careful with him. If he clogs in your hand, make sure you guard the 5k attacks with this one, prioritise to guard with. Otherwise he will clog late game and it will be painful. But yeah, only 3 copies of those to make space for other grade 2s. I really like this engine nowadays actually. I tried to incorporate it in all the Royal Paladin decks I build. Minimum 3 Blast Blade Spirit. Great grade 2 ride target because it's 10k base.
It's a blaster unit, so it has synergy with starter as well.
Yeah, it's a blaster unit, so Wingle Brave works very well. His other effect, when he gets called from the deck, Counterblast 1, retire one of their grade 2 or higher
Is there a way to call this card?
rear guards from the deck.
Is there a way to call this card from the deck?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Beside Counterblast 1 and retire grade 2 or higher in their front row. Very, very good, and it synergizes great with Starcall Trumpeter,
I see, this is the card you'd use for that.
which I'm playing 2 copies of. Because, yeah, call to the field, Counterblast 2, call any blaster unit from the deck.
So, I mean, this makes up for playing 3 of this card, of
Yeah,
course.
it makes up playing 3 Blaster Dark because effectively Starcall can become Blaster Dark with 2 Counterblast.
Yeah.
And it's Royal Paladin as well.
So basically grab whatever you're missing.
Grab what you're missing.
If you've got everything, of course, go for a little retire.
If you've got everything set up, this is a really great play where you can call it to the rearguard, Counterblast 2, call out a second rearguard, Counterblast 1, retire one of their rearguards, so for 1 card you +2. So +1, and then minus your opponent 1, so that's +2 net. Which is very, very good. So I tend to play at least 2 Starcall and at least 3 Blaster Spirit.
Very much a blaster-orientated grade 2 lineup.
And this is a fantastic way to use the Counterblast, which your grade 3s aren't using. So yeah, it's a great way to fill up your field as well. On to our grade 1 lineup. 4 Perfect Guards to...
Because perfect guards are great.
Perfect Guards are good. They completely nullify attacks, and especially in this format where break rides are running rampant.
Yeah, cross break rides, big plays.
And people like this guy using Chaos Breaker.
Well,
It's
I
not
haven't used
pleasant.
that for
It's not pleasant.
I haven't used it all.
No, you haven't used it as often as I thought you would, but
It's all about Kakaitis.
stuff like that exists. Break rides are very painful, you've got to stop them.
And this could be 34, so that's
This is a great way to, yeah, because especially, well, the only thing that falls victim to is Daikaiser. It's very painful, because your perfect guard essentially is, if they get grade 3 you're dead, which is kind of painful, but...
Depending on how you play around it, it's not the worst card in the
They're
world.
just there to stop crazy attacks, really. I mean, I see a lot of people spam these when the Vanguard column might be only attacking for 18, when that's still 2 cards to guard, where you can just drop a 10 and a 5 for 2 to pass, but...
It's based on... With Norguards, I tend to think of it like, if I was to use this card as a guard unit along something else, what would the actual guard value of it be? So if I use this in a 10, if this only equates out to be worth 10k worth of guard, then it's probably not worth it. If I can use this to at least a 15k guard card on its own, with obviously a little discard, then probably worth using.
Yeah, I mean now it's definitely...
Not mid-game, of course.
It's pretty vital, unless you're playing like Kagura and you've got Conroe, to save these Nilguards for like the huge attacks that a deck can pull off. So it's not like back in the day where you could just like freely spam them, because most decks didn't have like a massive turn play.
And while you do MLB, you're not exactly necessarily cross-ridden. 17 columns aren't too hard to make, so it's still at the end of the day, not bad to have.
Our next grade 1, 4 Marin, 8k vanilla.
And of course these work...
Pretty standard.
These cards work here, 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 and here, of course. They work pretty much everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, pretty solid first turn ride, defensive ride, solid booster. Solid
the Vanguard booster.
Solid early game rush card, so can't really fault 8k
I very much love decks where you can use the 8k as a dedicated Vanguard booster as well.
Which is why they never became archetype names. Otherwise, yeah, that wouldn't be pleasant. Next grade 1, 3 Pongal, which basically are your extra versions of grade 3. So effectively playing 10 grade 3s.
I mean, really, you can use Sanctuary Guard, search this out, and get your Soul Saver the next turn for even bigger.
You can if you want to, but I wouldn't do that half the time. But
could be fun though.
It could be. But yeah, this means you're playing. Yeah, you're playing 7 grade 3s normally, and this sort of means he's an extra grade 3.
Yeah, it sets you up like Soul Saver can be your emergency ride.
That's all he's there for. Other than that, he's nice 7k booster, so you can't really complain about it.
You've got a fair few 9s in the deck as well, so it works.
Last grade 1, Filter, Lake Maiden Lien. The one where you tap, drop a card, draw a card. So it's good for cycling through your hand for all the dead cards. And
can you, does it have to be a Royal Paladin card you draw?
Choose a card from your hand.
So you can ditch
Blaster Darks, which is very handy. Very handy. So you can ditch all the dead cards and cycle through your deck that way. So that brings us to the triggers. 2 Opener, 2 Owl, and 4 Loot, 8 crit. Standard Paladin crit lineup there. Wouldn't really change it. I mean, it works, so you can't. I suppose like you could argue that if you get the MLB Gambit off or Majesty Lord Black Gambit off, you will be inherently critical. But stands won't work in this deck because.
Oh, I don't think you probably should run stands.
No, because MLB it requires you put your 2 front row rear guards into the soul, which means if you get a stand trigger, it's pretty much worthless. And
you do have a few 10k base rear guards as well.
And the timings go way off. But for the most part,
I'd say the only argument you could really change in your trigger line is maybe taking out 2 crits for 2 draws.
Maybe.
But I think even with his inherent crit, you can it's still kind of like playing 10-4 in terms of your crits and draws.
But crits fine. And most of the time I tend to go for this guy more. First grade 3 ride if I can, to set up my field before I decide to go for Majesty Lord. Majesty Lord I tend to use more as an endgame push nowadays.
That's weird.
Which is weird because when you put Majesty Lord in the soul, well, if you put the 2 blasters in the soul with Majesty Lord, you give them that plus 10k for the turn, which is effectively like a break ride turn.
So you're saying if they happen to be in there anyway through other means, then if you're riding at late game, you kind of get that semi-cross ride off when you need it.
Yeah, you get that semi-cross ride off when you need it, rather than minusing 2 early game when you might not necessarily need to. You get to set up your field early game with this guy. And late game, the Majesty Lord skill grants the plus 10k.
So from the sounds of it, it sounds like the grade 3s you happen to get for your ride work whenever you get them during the game, and you can
pretty
alternate.
Much, yeah.
And you can mix around your players a little bit.
You can, it's not. You can definitely be creative with what your plays can be. Next trigger after the crits. 4 Margle, the draw trigger.
Margle, just a brilliant draw trigger.
Margle's a great draw trigger because of the fact that if you do ride Blaster Blade or Blaster Dark on your turn 2, boosted by Wingle Brave, it only hits 14. If you push the Margle into the soul, you can hit for 17.
A lot less likely to guard that one.
Which is much less likely to guard, especially if they're like on a 10k base Vanguard.
I mean, Margles have a lot of uses.
But obviously don't spam the effect, but only when you need to.
Very much a calculated push.
But other than that, it's just a very good draw trigger, and you can soul charge it when necessary, even if you want to set up soul save for next turn. So it's useful for that as well. And of course,
4 more criticals.
Yeah, 4 crit. Wait, hold on. The heals, you idiot.
No. I only know 12 crit. Don't know what this is.
4 heals, just the Jewel Knight heals, because I prefer this artwork to Elaine.
It's different. I mean, like, Yggdrasil's been around for a very long time anyway.
Yeah, but this is like a nice, fresh looking heal trigger.
I mean, of course you play heals because it keeps you in the game longer. Not much more to say about that, really.
Yeah, I know. So,
heal triggers, they're a given.
Heals, definite game changer, so you're
gonna want to play them.
Definitely want to play them. Unless you're going to go all out with 16 crit. Of course. And of course, starter, Wingle Brave. Only playing 1 copy of it. I see people play 2, but
you can, but it messes with your ratios a little bit.
One tends to be enough for me. I mean, he's good early to mid game, so long as you're riding a Blaster Vanguard.
I will agree. It kind of puts out a little bit of pressure if you're calling a second one to a rearguard circle, but that's gonna be a 14
kind
column.
Of, but when I draw it, like when I'm borrowing people's decks and I draw it, I kind of keep it in my hand as a 10k shield.
Yeah.
But having...
I mean, it's no Chappie.
No, it's not Chappie.
God,
It's quite a happy Chappie, though. But yeah, that's Winklebrave. He's just a generic searcher, but the great thing about him is he doesn't use any counterblast, which means all your counterblasts are saved up for your grade 2s.
This is great. And of course Pongle.
And Pongle when you need to. Yeah, stay. So yeah, that was Sanctuary Guard, Soul Saver, Majesty Lord. No, there we go.
Just overshine him completely.
That was the Sanctuary Guard, Soul Saver, Majesty Lord deck.
Yeah, it's probably more so these two, but yeah.
It's more so these two, but this guy's still great when you get it.
Nice tech card. Play around with it if you can.
Yeah, so that's my updated Royal Paladin deck. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Definitely give it a try.
Yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed that content,
enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want more.
And we'll see you next time.
This is Inferno and Kaiser signing out, and we'll see you next time.